Hey y'all, welcome back to Crane Eaters Creatures. I apologize for not having my video posted this morning of my routine with Smidley. But my phone didn't charge last night, so yeah, is what it is. But I'm excited to finally show you Elsie's completed enclosure, and she fucking loves it. Like I'm telling you, she loves it. Okay, she spent her first day after hiding for about an hour and maybe an hour and a half tops. She spent the rest of the day exploring and going around and checking stuff out. And she even ate her two pinkies that I put in there for her. So she has eaten twice now since I've had her. Both of the times she's eaten two live 2 gram pinky mice. At the moment, she's in blue, uh, which means she's going to shed soon. Her eyes are hazed over a little bit, uh, lightly grayish, starting to turn blue, which means she's going to shed soon-ish, but not like right now. But it's going to happen soon. So because of which she is in her moist hide now, and I'm going to take you and show you all this stuff. But I just wanted to put my face on the video and all that, so that way I'm not just some random guy talking. You don't know what I look like. You can kind of put a face to the voice. And I also want to kind of explain a little bit about what I got going on because I'm excited about it, and I don't know, it's I don't know, it's exciting to me. So, without further ado, let me kind of break this enclosure down for you and show you what's going on. All right, so we're gonna start from the basics. We have, or start from the bottom, I guess, not the basics. We're gonna start from the bottom, working our way up. What we have is 2x4s, right? Supporting, we got a 2x4 grid on the bottom. I built a frame. I'm going to post pictures of everything along the way, like a build process. I didn't have a video posted because it was a long process. So I just have pictures, and I'm going to post those later. But anyway, so at the bottom we have a 2x4 frame, and then we have 3/4 inch plywood on top of that. And then I built a box with a 3/4 inch plywood that is 5 inches deep, and that's her soil level. I have it all the wood painted, 2 coats with a zero VOC Sherman Williams high grade. I can get. You know what? I'll go get it. Hold on just a second. Give me just 1 second. Okay, so this is what I got going on. All right, it's zero VOC. I don't know where it says it, somewhere on the front of it. Yeah, zero VOC. So volatile organic chemicals. There's no fumes going in here. There's no leaching of fumes at all in any way. And then it's mold and mildew resistant, uh, and bacteria, all that stuff. Resistant. I said on there somewhere. Anyway, should last a real long time, especially since the only thing that's going to be happening on it is her rubbing against it when she finally reaches it. It's not going to get saturated because hognoses don't live in a saturated environment. They live in a, I don't know, 30 to 40% humidity type environment. So they don't need anything crazy moist. As a matter of fact, it would cause shell rot, I guess scale rot is the right word. Scale rot on the bottom of their belly, and that is not good. That can cause infections, and in the long run, could lead to like respiratory and health issues and possibly death. So, you never want over moist soil. That could never be good. So, what we got going on in here after we have the wood is we have a 1/4 inch thick plexiglass, sorry, 1/4 inch thick acrylic, and it's got piano hinges on the doors, so they swing open. I have a front opening enclosure, so that way it feels less threatening whenever I interact with her. And then holding the acrylic on, I have this glue here. And then I have pre-drilled holes where I took some construction all-weather screws so they won't, no rusting and all that stuff. None of that's going to happen. So all that's what's holding the acrylic to the wood. And then inside the enclosure, we have, we'll go in a little closer here. Inside the enclosure, we'll start at the soil. The soil is a Jungle Growth brand, is the name is Jungle Growth. And it's in a organic potting soil with 0 chemical fertilizers. It also has play sand. It is a true 50-50 mix. I made sure this time that it was a 50-50 mix. Instead of being like 60-40, I wanted it to have a decent amount of uh, burrowing retention with also not retaining a high amount of moisture. And I'm not going to be getting this wet all the time. I'm only going to be misting the surface when I see that I can put my finger in there like yay far and it's completely dry. That's when I'll mist the surface and let the water go down. So that way her burrows stay holding, because if it gets all dry out, it's all going to fall apart anyway. So it's a delicate balance. All right, so then we have in the soil a cleanup crew. We got some nematodes. We got some springtails. They're cocoa temperate springtails. And then we have some powder blue powder orange isopods. And then we have some red red earthworms. And then we have some mealworms. All those are a cleanup crew, and they will all eat bioorganic waste. So I don't have to worry about cleaning anything up but her urates that she drops. I think that's what it's called. But so like a chunk of, it's like a urine block. They don't pee liquid. They pass a block of urine. So that's like the only thing I think I'll have to clean up. I don't really imagine me have to clean up solid waste, but I will if I have to. But all that stuff's in there, so it's like a self-sustaining, self-cleaning environment. All right, so we also have some oak leaves mixed in the soil as well, and we have some on top. I got some more oak leaves on the way, but that is in there as well, so that way the worms and the isopods and the springtails, all that have something to eat, and it also helps with retaining burrows as well. And then we also have some Juro wood. I think I'm saying that right. Right? I can talk, I swear. I think I'm saying that right. Juro wood. It's a driftwood. It's made for aquariums and terrariums. There's a piece on top that I'll show you here in just a second, but that is also in the soil, and it's acting like a something that she's going to have to dig around. So like a little enrichment in there. And it also helps maintain burrows as well in the process. You can see one piece of it sticking up right here. I'll zoom in. That is the entrance to her moist hide right there. That's a piece of the Juro wood sticking up. The Juro wood is acting like an archway, so she can go into that hide, and it keeps the dirt and all that stuff from falling in. And inside that moist hide is a thoroughly cleaned out Tide Pod container that I have stuffed with sphagnum moss and misted down. And then I have the lid I have cut out and made soft so she's not going to hurt herself. So she can crawl in through a hole and then kind of like chill inside this little bedding of sphagnum moss that's moist and come back out when she's ready. So that way she has herself a cool hide, but it's also a moist hide, which is currently where she is because she's in the shed. All right, so moving on from the Juro wood and the moist hide, we have some cork bark pieces in here. We have some of them slightly, like with some roundovers, are slightly buried in at an angle. So she has like a pre-built burrow that she can go and burrow into. And then I also have a round one that's straight buried, but with the front end sticking out, that she can also kind of chill into. So it's a pre-made burrow that she can just kind of hang out in. Then I have another round one that's not buried. It's just sitting on top. All that allows for her to have multiple hides over there in the hot spot, but some that she can bury herself to get to, some that she can hang out in without having to do any work. Then this is just a pineapple that was in an aquarium. I thought it could add like a little bit of enrichment. If not, it's just a pop of color for me. It's not going to hurt her. I've thoroughly cleaned it. Um, it's it's not going to harm her in any way or leach into there. And she was digging underneath it, so I don't know if she likes it or it was just something for her to interact with. But she was digging underneath it the first day. So this is day 2. But she was digging yesterday. She was digging under it. All right, so moving on. I forgot about my pipes. We have some hamster tubing in here, and it is almost 3 inches in diameter. I can share links or where I found that on Amazon if y'all would like. Just let me know in the comments, and I can do that. But this, I have pictures of where it's mounted down onto the ground. This is an entrance that she has to dig to find. And then when she gets to it, it's a little enrichment that she can go in the very gradual upward angle to get to this long extended pipe here that is like an upward basking spot that she can quote unquote climb to, because they're not climbers, they're burrowers, diggers. So she can climb to it and hang out in an elevated position that's kind of in the hot side, but it's like more like a warm hideout. Not really a hide, more like a warm resting area that's elevated, and she can get like a look under things. And then when she starts using it, I'm also going to put food in there and see how she interacts with that, like a little enrichment in that way. So it's really just for enrichment. It's no other reason. But I'm interested to see how she interacts with it. It's not going to harm her in any way, and it comes apart so easy if I need it to come apart, and it literally like clamshells open. Like it pops in half, 2 pieces. I think clamshell is the wrong word. And literally, it's like 2 pieces that come into half, and then the little pink parts hold the pieces together. So it's super easy to take apart, and it's got a lot of ventilation holes in there, so she's not going to be stifled in any way in there. So I'm excited about that. This little probe you see here is my heat temperature probe for my low profile basking UVB heat basking lamp that I have in there. Right now it just has a ceramic bulb because my infrared heat bulb hasn't come, and the heat is currently at 85.5 in the hot side right here, and I would like it to be at 90. So we're going to get that installed, and it's going to kick it back up. I don't have 2 ceramic bulbs in there because it would overheat it, so we're just going to have the one. I have it extended down a little bit so it doesn't get too hot with the plexiglass. It's also ventilated up top, so it has a way for that heat to escape without it also getting too hot for the plexiglass. Now at the top we have just this piece of, I think this is 3/4 inch tempered glass. It was a coffee table top that I had, and then the coffee table got broken, so I just kept that, and I finally got to use it. So this is what it's used for. All right, so moving on. Multiple cork bark pieces in here for her to rub across, hide under, dig under, for the isopods to bury themselves under and dig under. We got a couple pieces of cholla. This is a vertical piece of cholla that goes all the way down to the ground, and it acts as a center line support. We got a plant grow light in here for the 2 plants. The plant we got in here is a snake plant with golden edging. I don't know the scientific name. It's really hard for me to pronounce. I'm not even going to attempt it. So it's a snake plant, okay, and it's got the golden edges on the leaves. It's doing better. It was struggling for a minute, along with this fescue. It was struggling for a minute. They don't look like they're doing good, but they're doing better than what they were. I didn't have them planted in here right away, so even if I have to get another fescue and try that again, I will. I'm gonna keep using this fescue. I like it, but this is Elijah Blue fescue. I'm gonna figure out the math to it to get it to work, but we'll work it. This is gonna be like a really long grass overhang section that they can kind of go around and hide under and all that stuff. So I want it to maintain in here, and I'll figure out how to make that work if I have to. Somehow I'll make it work. But that's what that is. That's Elijah Blue fescue. Looking real sad at the moment. This blue thing back here is a very shallow. It's not even. I don't even think it's an inch. It might be an inch deep. Very shallow water bowl for her, so that way she can come and soak as well. This is just a ceramic baking dish that I have that is what I put her food in. So I'm leaving that in there because that's just where her pinkies go into, so that way they don't roll around in the dirt and get all full of all that nasty, gross dick. All right, so then we have some spring-loaded, reverse angled, I think is what that's called. Little latches right here. All right, so that's one mechanism that holds it back. That's not the only one. On top, we also have some push magnetic latches. Okay, that's how those open. So she's not opening this. Nobody else is opening this unless they know how it's done. All right, push it in, done. Well, this one's a little tight, so it's going to wear closer, but she's not going to push this open ever. All right, and then on the bottom of this, I also had, I don't know if you saw it, but there's metal mesh, so she can't reach it. She can't put her face on it, and on this side, where she can get anywhere close to it, because it curves up a little bit. But she can't get close to it because they don't extend out like that. They're not. That's not the kind of way they move. All right, let's see. We got a ping pong ball in here to act as like a little bit of enrichment. I don't know if she's going to use it. I have no freaking clue if she's going to use it, but it's in there. So that's how that is. And both sides, they you can't open it without doing that. All right, but it perfect. And then I also have, which I'll be getting footage from. I finally figured out how to do it. A camera in here that records. Well, it doesn't record because she's not big enough for it to pick up. It's more like for people. But I can record it if I'm watching. I can record footage of her moving around and take stills and all that kind of stuff. I did the same thing for Smidley, which Smidley is getting huge, by the way, if you're keeping up on my channel. And on Monday, in 2 days, we have our vet appointment. So I'm excited about that. But I just wanted to show y'all Elsie's enclosure because I'm excited about it. I think it's wonderful. She freaking loves it. Right now, she's in her moist hide, like I said. And she was tucked out before I started this video, but I think I scared her, so that's where she is. But she's in her moist hide right now, and she's just been exploring everything and enjoying everything, and it's been a real pleasure to watch her. And she's not nervous in here at all, or timid or shy or any of that stuff, to explore and to just like check things out and be naturally herself. And it's a real joy to watch. I really enjoy it. So I'm really excited that I went with a full acrylic enclosure, so that way I can see everything. And I'm really excited that I made it like, I don't know, coffee table height, if you will. It's a little too high for a coffee table. This is more like just a random table at this point. But I'm excited that I made it a height that wasn't too high. You know what I mean? So that way I can sit in my chair and I can just come over, just look right across my living room and see Elsie just enjoying her life. So I'm really excited about that too. And this color here, I went with this color because this seemed like the most Elsie colored. Elsie's my grandmother. Most Elsie color I've ever seen in my life. So I just like, you know what? We're gonna go with this color. It looks a little different on the wood than it did on the splotch, but it's all good. It almost looks like a Pepto Bismol pink at this point, but it is what it is. But they all kind of blend. The pinks all kind of blend, so I'm all right with it. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, y'all. This is Crane Eaters Creatures, and this is Elsie's forever home, her new and forever enclosure that I spent a decent amount of time working on. Oh, I forgot to mention my thermostat that I have everything plugged in. This is what it looks like. So I've got it set to 90. So that's when it kicks off. I think and then it goes up by 1 degree. So it actually kicks off at 91 and it turns back on at 88.9. So like 89 is the kickoff. So, but it doesn't reactivate. It's like 88.9. So it's trying to keep it as close to 90 as possible with a 2 degree margin. So I'm totally okay with that. Anyway, so that's where all those wires are, kind of a little unsightly, but it is what it is. And everything is kind of runs underneath here to a, I wish I could show you, but I tried it with my mom on FaceTime, but it's too dark underneath here. You can't see, so I'm not going to bother. There is a three plug-in outlet switch down in there that the grow light in this are both plugged into. So that's what's plugged into the wall. Anyway, so thanks for tuning in, y'all. This is Elsie's enclosure. I'm sorry it's been such a long video, and I'm sorry that she didn't come out and say hello at all in the video, but that is where she currently is at, is down inside there. So, oh, and yeah, this is hanging up by a plastic coated metal hanger. So it's like real solid on there, and the weight retention is way more than what she's ever going to give it. So, yep. Anyway, that's where it is. That's what I did. Thanks for tuning in. This is Crane Eaters Creatures. I'm Logan. This is Elsie's Enclosure. Y'all have a wonderful day.